Aloha. I am Dr. Keone Dudley, and I want to welcome you to segment 5 of the new hurricane threat for Hawaii. This segment will teach you how to fortify your house. So the hurricane is over. You come outside the house hoping to find help, but looking around, you realize that there is no hope of help, nor will there be for weeks to come. You are lucky to be alive yourself. Look at this house, and this, and this. So many houses completely gone, and so many who lived there are gone too. Whole families erased from the earth. Or maybe yours is a different situation. Maybe you live in a high-rise. Perhaps you barricaded your family in the bathroom while many of your fellow occupants were sucked out, carried in the wind, and died. No room was spared here. You also come downstairs and look up your street. And you also slowly realize that there will be no help for weeks. No food, no water, no working toilet, no medical help, no running elevator to get you back upstairs. But at least you have 14 days of food and water upstairs, right? Or maybe you won't even be that lucky. In our first hurricanes, thousands, perhaps tens of thousands, will die. And you may be among the thousands who die. In this time now, before the first of many hurricanes strikes, each one of us needs to prepare for our lives to possibly be cut short. There are important things one needs to do, like taking photos of one's will and of one's life insurance, car insurance, home insurance, and getting them into cloud storage using one's computer or cell phone, and then letting heirs know where to find them. And there are also more profound things to do, like truly coming to grips with the end of your life. We all need to be prepared to die. You know, different as the many, many religions of the world are, the one thing that most share is belief in the afterlife, belief in the spirit world. Why? What have their followers experienced for thousands of years that makes so many of them believe that the soul lives on? As you prepare for your life possibly cut short by a hurricane, should you not look into the afterlife more too? You may find a whole world of love and blessings. We have talked about some extremely negative things and scary things. Let's now look at more positive things, things you can do to help yourself and to save your family. We will begin with our next expert, Dennis Huang. Dennis is a lawyer and also a faculty member in the Sea Grant program at the University of Hawaii, Manoa. He has developed the Homeowner's Handbook to prepare for natural hazards. Throughout his presentation, he will be showing pictures from the book. And when he finishes, many of you are going to want to get a copy. If you just type the title in your computer search engine, the whole book will come right up. It can be downloaded free of charge. Welcome, Professor Dennis Huang.
Why is this house no damage, okay? So it was built in 2017, 3 months before Harvey hit, under modern building codes. So it has a continuous load path connection, has a strong roof and window protection. All of these things can be added to existing houses. So here's what a continuous load path connection is. It's essentially tying the roof to the wall and the wall to the foundation. Every intersection has a connection. Here's the roof to the wall. The weakest part is right here. So that's why the hurricane clip, that's this part A. And then The stud is tied to the double top plate with the strap. The second level is tied to the first level with this other strap. The stud is tied to the base plate with this other strap. And then the base plate, the sill plate, they call that the base plate, is anchored to the foundation with this anchor bolt. Okay? So that's a continuous load path connection. So houses built after 95 on Oahu have that continuous load path connection. Okay? But if you don't have it, you could try and add it as a retrofit. And as a retrofit, a lot of the connectors are done externally. So like this example here, okay, here's the hurricane clip, tying the beam to the column and the column to the foundation. Okay, that's a continuous load path. So here's one of the reasons why you want to tie the roof to the wall, the hurricane clip.
Almost every single wall house in the state can be retrofitted with this hurricane clip.
This is the HPT clip made by Simpson Strong Tie, and it ties the roof rafter to the wall. It was designed a lot in the past. This freeze board used to stick out, so you couldn't use the traditional H3 clip, but with this HPT clip, it wraps around the freeze board, allows you to tie the roof rafter to the wall. So in the homeowner's handbook, there's a step-by-step guide on how to put in the HPT clip. If you're not handy, hire a contractor. It's under $2,000. For most small houses, it'll be around $1,500. And if you get some insurance discounts, you could have a payback of like 7 years or 8 years because they'll give you a discount for putting the clips in. It's a good investment. It strengthens your house. It adds value to your house. And this is what you're trying to prevent, okay? So almost every house in the state could be retrofitted relatively easy with these hurricane clips. You could either use the H3 if there's no freeze board sticking out, or the HPT. Some people use the HM9, which is stronger. And we think that since 2007, around 3,000 houses have been retrofitted. So
generally, the weakest part of a house is the roof to wall connection, and that's why the hurricane clip is so important.
In the book, there's a step-by-step guide on how to do this retrofit. Here's like adding knee brace stabilizers to the kickers and attaching the hold downs, and then drilling the holes for the anchor bolts, and tying the hold downs to the scabbing and also the concrete post. Since this retrofit came into the book, there's like 2 or 3 houses that we have examples that they did this retrofit on Oahu. So now what you have here is a house that was built in 1956. Remember, they didn't require a load path until 1995, but now you have hurricane clips throughout the whole, all the trusses there, and then you have all these hold downs here. So it's a 1956 house with a continuous load path, and the insurance for this example went from $1,200 to $900 a year. Window protection. Here's a Niki, and you can see Kauai during the Niki, and you can see this wood pallet flying around. Very strong winds. You got to protect your windows. This is why you want to keep the envelope of the house intact. Here, the wind pressure is only on the outside, okay? But here, there's a breach in the envelope. That could be a broken window, for instance. Once the envelope gets breached, sometimes the roof will blow off. That's a common progressive failure sequence. 5/8" plywood is recommended. The 5/8" will still pass the large missile test. That's a 9-pound 2x4 going at 34 miles per hour. 5/8" plywood will pass that missile test. 1/2" plywood will not pass the missile test.
If all your panels are prepared beforehand and stored neatly in the garage, you could put them up in 5 or 10 minutes for an incoming event.
Here's what the storm panel screws look like. Okay, there's like under normal conditions, like it's always in place, and it's either around the full perimeter for a full perimeter install, or just on the top left or right corner. Okay, and it's covered with this white cap. And then when there's an incoming event, you pull the cap off, and then you hang the panel and you fasten it with the wing nuts. We're going to go over other window protection systems. Okay, so here's what the National Weather Service has. Roll down shutters. They're more expensive, but the advantage is you just throw a switch and they deploy automatically. Fabric. Okay, so this is for large or unusually shaped windows. It's a hurricane fabric. It'll pass the missile test. Okay, your window may break, but it'll still hold the envelope. Here's a house protected with fabric. Accordion shutters. This is a house in Kaimuki, and it's always deployed. And to deploy it, you just swing each shutter, and it joins in the middle, and then you lock it. Another option, which is becoming popular, is these polycarbonate panels. They pass the missile test also, and they're lightweight and strong. And here's a polycarbonate panel protecting a window on a single wall house. It has storm panel screws are on the perimeter. That's how they're protecting their window. Impact resistant windows. This is a little more expensive. The impact resistant windows are always in place. They add value to your house. They'll protect your house for 50 years. Doors. Okay, garage doors are a potential weakness in a house. Here's a garage door that has vertical bracing. These braces, they take 5 to 10 minutes to put up for each one. It comes as a kit. For your front door, you should always have a door with 3 latches and one thing that's very protective you can consider is changing your screen door to a security screen door. When you fortify your house, it's going to be hard for things to get in and hard for you to get out. So you always want to make sure you have 2 exit points in your house, and the security screen is a good way to get it.
Thank you so much, Dennis Huang. Again, you can find a copy of this book on your computer by just typing in the title. And again, it's free. In closing, I want to thank the Makakilo Kapolei Honokai Hale Neighborhood Board for bringing together the experts that we have heard today. I want to thank Olelo Community Media for helping us to reshoot the entire program. I want to thank Kareen Makahilahila for her marvelous job in editing this with me. I want to thank the nonprofit 2050 Hawaii Incorporated for sponsoring the program. And I want to thank Tesla Solar for funding its creation. Finally, I dedicate this program to my wife, Doris Sadako Dudley. You may want to see this program again. It can be found on the Olelo website and on YouTube. Thank you very much for watching. Aloha.